Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for episode 10 of Better Than Heroes. Woo! Episode 10, you guys, we made it.
Thought we could do it.
20 hours of nonsense. Thank you guys who have been, to everybody who's been here since the beginning. I'm Rachel Weeks. I play Klik, the Tohr-Kreen fighter. Thanks to everyone who joined us this past week for our Q&A with Jordan and Andrew. Of course, Mondays are our best day where we get to actually roleplay, but we produce content on this channel on other days too. So please check it out. Come hang out for other content. We announced last week that we'd have a special guest tonight. That special guest was Lou Wilson from Dimension 20. Hello to everyone who is here to see Lou. You're the best. Welcome. Unfortunately, the technology gods intervened. His hard drive crashed this afternoon, so he is unable to join us for tonight, but we're going to get him rescheduled as soon as possible. We hope if you joined us to see Lou, you still hang out. We have a great episode for you tonight. As always, if you like the show or all of our other shows on the channel, please remember to subscribe. Subscribers, please remember to resubscribe. Twitch does not do it automatically. So if you want to continue to support the show, make sure that you have done that. Subscribers and patrons, you should have access to our Discord. Tweet at us, message us on Twitter or Instagram. We'll make sure that you are in there. Come talk D&D with us. It's a lot of fun in there. But remember, the most important thing you can do to support the show is watch the show live and tell your friends. Share us on Twitter, on Instagram. Tell everybody that you found a new cool thing, because we're not going to grow without you guys. So thanks for coming.
Can I just say that was like flawless?
That was so good. That was literally the best intro we've ever done. That was so good.
Oh, we were muted. We were muted the whole time. We have to redo it. We were.
All right, Andrew, you're up.
My name's Andrew. Shit. I can't follow that.
Oh, how'd a bird get in there? Oh, the bird laid an egg.
My name's Andrew Ovredahl. I play the human bard, Flute, Whimteaser, aka the Windrider. And if you're interested, we do have a Patreon, which Rachel alluded to. We just did a Q&A for our patrons. We have all kinds of fun stuff. We even have a monthly D&D game for like the truly insane supporters. So if you're bored and want to check that out, check it out. It's at patreon.com/betterthanheroes.
Hi, my name is Jordan. I play the Moonboy. He is a level 4 Moonboy, and I am going to shout out our sponsor, freaking Big Top, everybody. Give it up for Big Top.
Big Top.
We should have like a Big Top sound that we make. Like, what's a circus sound?
I mean,
Like
it feels like Big Top.
Yeah, that's creepy, and I don't like it, so let's not.
I'm sad. I'm a sad elephant. Anyway, thank you, Big Top.
My name is Aaron Urist. I play K.A.I. Hammerstein, the Arcane Intelligence. And man, that's all sounded like a band name that I named by myself. I play K.A.I. He's your friend. He's my friend. We are going to get into it. We're going to watch our fantastic intro video, courtesy of Tiger Moon Productions. And then we are going to watch our recap from last episode. And then we're going to get into it and play Dungeons and Dragons.
Both of them.
In space.
I'm very excited
All
about
three.
it. Let's do it.
Last time on Better Than Heroes. After defeating the Gravislayer at the center of its gravity labyrinth, the crew celebrated with an extremely long hug.
He almost ate me!
Oh my goodness. Everyone come here. You will be hugged now. Afterwards, there was no time to lose, with plunder to find and damage to the ship to repair. Captain Goliathan seemed unusually worried, itching to leave as quickly as possible.
I think the captain's sick. I think there's something wrong with him. He says, the moon. She whispers things to me.
The crew entered the inner sanctum of the Gravislayer's lair and discovered a room of floating treasure.
And you see, as you're looking around, it seems to be like not a really well-made book at first. Is what you think. The etching on the front of the book is a lighthouse.
After a brief exploration, the tangle of shipwrecks began to drift apart as gravity normalized. The crew returned to the dinger and made some hasty repairs before fleeing the moth-winged ship which continued its pursuit. The dinger managed to evade her once again, making the jump towards their destination, the spaceport of Ferma Regna. Has the danger finally passed? Will the crew reach port safely? What is it that the captain fears so much? Find out next time on Better Than Heroes.
Hold on, I'm not done hugging everyone yet. Okay. I'm finished.
Oh, you know what I should have open?
Are you in your garage, Rachel?
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry, I meant room.
And we're back. Here we go. No roasting Rachel. We're back live. Shout out to the chat for whoever said Andrew was in a sauna or
Yeah,
is a
welcome.
sauna.
No,
Excuse me.
is
I just
a
thought,
sauna.
yeah, I am.
We read that while it was happening. It made us laugh.
There's
Okay,
a
cool.
bench near me. I'm surrounded by men 65 and up wearing towels, and then I like to play. It puts me at ease. That's where I like to do my role playing. So
Well,
there's 7 Japanese senior men around me wearing only towels, and then I'm here playing the game.
Hello, Mr. Okahara.
Yeah. Now you can leave the door cracked. I don't like it too hot. Thank you.
Yeah, why aren't you sweating?
Yeah. Oh, I'm used to it. So
Very
I mean,
sick.
I play all my D&D in here, so my pores are like that big.
That's called confidence. It's called confidence.
Stop being funny. I have D&D too. I'm just fully making it my slogan now. I'm leaning into it. Great. So we find the party now waking up from a long rest after they were miraculously able to escape the gravity field after defeating the gravity slayer and also navigate their way away from this moth-winged ship that seems to be chasing them, and that encroached on them as well and was making some ground against them. But you all slept easily through the night. Both Klik and K.A.I are able to stay up and stay and guard in some ways. And as per usual, the first person up is Goat, your big, one of the crew members on the Dinger, your spell jamming ship, who, she's the large Goliath woman who's big and strong but soft at heart, and she's the bosun on the ship, kind of like doing the early morning chores of making sure the sails are in good condition. And you all know that you're about a day's travel from the planet Chandos, which is your first stop from the original planet that you started from, which you will refer to as the Rock. It's also known as the Rock of Brawl. And you all have never been as a full crew to the city of Firma Regna before. And here you are, kind of about a day's travel away, but right now you are just in open, wild space, not bothered, sleeping through the night, recovering after the fight with the Gravislayer. And you all can tell me what you're doing. As Klik and K.A.I, you see Goat come up from below deck and say, "Good morning."
Good morning.
Goat.
I will give Goat her tea. As I do.
She almost she almost doesn't look at you. She's so kind of like, yep, I know this routine. And, she takes it and with her eyes kind of like a little puffy and closed, she sips it and it's just like, that's nice. It's nice to get back to the usual routine after all that.
Yeah, it's nice to not be being flipped.
By a gravity monster.
I know. We got flipped over. There's so much stuff to still putting back in place.
Oh, I bet.
Speaking
I will coil up my little grasshopper legs and I'll jump down from the crow's nest and go to help Goat with getting the ship in like landing procedure stuff.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you with your crazy jump speed as a Tohr-Kreen, you're able to just kind of like boop 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 down the sails, and
Yeah, it's Mario jumps. That's what it sounds like.
And you land right with them, and she's like, "Oh, good. I'm actually glad I have both of you here. I wanted to ask before everybody else gets up and going, what's the plan with the ooze? Janice, as you all keep calling her. I know we were getting her off the planet, but like, are we gonna drop her off in Firmarigna, or what's the move there?"
I imagine...
What is the plan with the ooze, Kai?
Well, don't know that it's up to me completely, but I would imagine that a heavily populated city is not the safest place for her to start her journey whenever that begins.
Right, but is the safest journey for her to be on our journey either?
I'm not saying that she has to stay indefinitely, but...
For the time being,
For
she
the
has
time
kept her
being.
promise to not eat us. Releasing her into a heavily populated area where she has made no such promises is not a great idea.
All right. I see your point. I don't want to stir up trouble. I was just wanting to know kind of where we were sitting. All right. Well, Klik,
She
you
gives
want
me
to?
the willies too.
Yeah,
If it helps.
Everything's given me the willies lately. Jeez, oh Pete, this has been quite the trek.
She's so Pete indeed.
I
Adorable.
I went to Catholic school, so
And so did Goat.
yeah. So you all kind
Space
of like,
Catholicism.
oh god,
Goliath Catholicism.
I'm a level 4 Goliath Catholic.
Those are just Bajorans for the Trekkies in the audience. So you all are able to. She's like, "Klik, can you help me with this?" And she's just like wanting to adjust the sail before you all keep going, as it just is kind of cut and push with the resistance of moving very quickly through space. So you all can kind of get back to that. And Moonboy, Flute, how are you all greeting this day?
The Moonboy is waking up and crawling out of his barrel and going straight to the kitchen to find some breakfast.
Great, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like Flute probably wakes up when he hears Moonboy's whatever noise Moonboy makes getting out of his barrel, so I'd follow a ways behind.
It's like this.
Morning.
Surprised we haven't made that noise.
That, for those
That
of you
is-
watching, that is a classic Jordan Doll D&D sound.
That
It's
is
appeared in every game he's ever
that-
played.
That is a gnome sound that me and Aaron developed in I'd say the mid 2010s. What a crazy time for
Been
gnome
doing
sounds,
it for
man.
many years. It's an established bit.
That's the sound.
It's funny. I've
Exactly.
Yes,
you
that
did
would wake anyone up, and it wakes me up.
You hear moonish rumblings.
You did that once before as Moonboy, but you did it in a minor key when he was walking away as a jig. So that was. Yep.
I never
Definitively.
even imagined it. And I'm like, never conceived of such a thing.
Great. Yes. So that noise obviously wakes you up. And you're heading to the kitchen with Moonboy?
Yep.
Cool.
Grab some breakfast.
Someone's in the kitchen
It's
with
waiting for you.
Moonboy. That's what I sing on the way.
Goliath is.
And I'll hum along. I'll like hum I'll harmonize with that pretty.
Goliathan he's also in the kitchen, the captain of your ship.
Sure.
Good morning, Captain.
Good morning, Captain. How are you today? Hey.
All right. He's like, hello. You know, we get into it. We and he again has the same general pallor, like paleness about himself that he did before. This kind of like clamminess, but he looks a little better. Seems like he got some rest this evening, and being able to kind of like sleep through the night unbothered has helped him as well. But he still just seems off to you.
Are you all right, Captain? I can see that you require many scones.
Oh yeah, gosh, please. And you see he's holding a biscuit in his hand, which was like very uncommon for him as he goes straight for the scones. And he's like, oh good, yeah, scone would be great.
If you would like biscuits, I can put out some more, but I've never seen you have one before.
He's like,
Yes.
it's like a watery scone, right? I kind of like
No, a
dress.
biscuit.
Yes.
okay.
A
It's
water
not a watery
scone.
scone.
I've
Yes,
called them that.
Like watered down, like less like scone light.
I've heard it.
Like,
I've heard people call it that.
Yeah, thank you, Moonboy. Moonboy gets me. He knows.
A water scone. It's a biscuit, man.
you're thinking of a bamboo shoot, maybe? Or like an artichoke? Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm thinking of an artichoke. I get artichokes and biscuits confused sometime.
That's for all of us.
Anyway, I'm gonna go get to the helm. I would like to get up and go into Firma quick. So I know we haven't been there in a bit, but this seems to be the fastest route to civilization. And I know that this ship, we did the patches, but it could still use some preening. And yep.
Question for the DM: have I been to Firma?
Roll a history check.
To see where I've been. I got a 17.
Ooh.
Oh no, Arkansas.
Actually, let's just for fun, let's do a fun thing right now. Kind of all of the players except for Andrew take off your headphones, and I will wave at you when you can put them back on.
I like
Okay.
It's one of my favorite things to do. We haven't done it yet.
We'll just be talking shit about the other players.
Yeah. So, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that on stream, but we'll find out.
I think you can put your middle finger up. Look at Jordan cheating.
You have been to Firma before. You have been kind of like on your way out to the Rock of Gaul in your path, just like in your, I don't want to give anything away, that you can kind of like decide to reveal this as you wish, but you've been before and you know it as a place that is a port city. So it is like, there are lots of different types of people that are coming through here. It's kind of a newer city in this realm, in like literally in the realm that you are in. It is a newer city, which makes it very influenceable. And there have been a lot of, you thought maybe you could get work there, but you seemed that it was a bit more volatile than you were looking for at the time. And so you just kind of pieced out from it and kept going, as it was like easy to find passage out, easy to find passage in. But yeah, do you have any other specific questions besides that? That's about what a 17.
No, so I basically just had a layover there and was like, this scene isn't for me, and left.
Yeah, but you were there are criminal factions that operate out of there.
Okay. Would I expect to see the gang that I was briefly a member of in Regna?
You don't know that they have firm roots there, but in your like spider senses are out. Your ears are pricked, kind of like,
okay.
You're like, oh shoot, I should be careful, but you don't know for sure if there is or isn't.
Okay, cool. All right,
cool,
great.
All right, cool. Everyone can come back. Yeah, come back.
Anyway, Jordan, what? And it's time. Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I had just reached
It's a
my
classic
limit.
bit.
I had officially had it up to here.
Well, guys, I have been to Firma Regna. That's what we were talking about.
I was just describing it in very great detail that you all don't get. Okay, cool.
Inside jokes.
What's it like, Flute?
So you all are in the kitchen. Everyone but Klik is in the kitchen, and with Goliathan is in there. Both Relic, the halfling gunner, comes onto the ship, kind of with into the kitchen. Excuse me, with his hair a bit disheveled, going straight for the coffee. Cobble follows in closely behind him, just kind of like poking at things and looking around. She's the kobold navigator for the ship, the very old kobold navigator. And so kind of the whole crew is here, bumping around the kitchen as per your routine on any normal day on this trip.
Cool.
What will everyone do in Firma Regna?
Relic's like, oh man, and the captain is now kind of like, once the other two bustle in, he takes that moment to slip out and has kind of given you the like, all right, choppy, y'all, let's get going to it. And so he slips out, and as soon as he slips out, Relic is like, he's like, guys, we kicked ass back there with the Gravis Slayer. We should like go specifically looking for another chance to, recover a ship, do a little bit of action adventure work. You've got the lightning arm. He points to you, K.A.I. It's like, Klik's great at jumping and slashing. Like, Moonboy's here. We got this going. Like, we could do this. We could turn this into like a thing. We could be good at this.
I'm like waiting really expectantly for Relic to acknowledge me. Like one of those like lean-ins, like
Actually, he's like he kind of like mouths to you like Flute. He's like mouthing Flute or Windrider. I don't know. He's like trying to be like, how do you want me to play this? And he kind of was like, yeah, and Flute, but Flute's a coward. He says like,
guilty as charged.
Fascinating.
All right. So, yeah, he's kind of like, what? I mean, like, what do you guys think? Should we do it? I say we go for it.
Yeah, I mean,
the captain's not going to go for that.
I know, but if we he likes you all. He likes Moonboy. I think if we talk to him, we could do it.
What exactly do you want us to ask him? If we can like take the ship out for like a Gravis Slayer hunt?
No, I think we should have him look specifically for a lead. When we're at Firma Regna, and you all would know too that there are this is kind of known work that spelljamming ships can get, is that either they can like information about where wrecked ships and maybe their helms and maybe valuables inside of them is something that is like bought and sold a little bit, which is dangerous work because it could be like a trap or it could be just like a bogus lead or things like that. But and there also could be a reason that it wrecked, but it's still absolutely more lucrative work than kind of just like being freighting thing from one spot to another. So Relic's like really pushing you all for this.
Yeah, okay, man. We'll keep our eyes open, I guess. Thirsty.
I mean, I don't think Goliathan's gonna like, unless you all push him or unless you all go out and get a lead. I don't think he's gonna do it. So he just kind of does this like, and this is like you've never seen Relic. He's so like grumpy, slacker. Like I know better than you, but also not do anything vibe. And here he's like energized and excited, and it's just like this is it. Let's do it.
I'm glad to see you so energized at the very least.
This isn't going to be UFC again, is it, Relic? Because you got really into it for a minute, and then it went away, and we were all supposed to come and watch you practice, and
Was that the organized violence thing that you
Yes.
participated in?
yes, you could call it that.
Oh.
Yeah, look, I don't do that anymore. I don't do the
Yes, after the ass
Yeah.
whooping. I remember.
yeah. I
Underdog
don't.
fighting championship?
No, it's the underground Fomorian club where you just fight.
That was much better.
Thanks.
Is that like the Dead Poets Society?
Yes, that's the one where you punch a giant in a cave.
Yeah. Yeah, it started as this whole, and he starts to do the thing, which is like when you're explaining Dungeons and Dragons to people who don't really care about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah. Where he's like, so yeah, Fomorians used to be,
Right,
and it just kind of like fades to, shout out to all the nerds. And so,
That's implied.
Well,
In
I
us
mean,
doing this.
you know what? I don't think the captain needs to know about what we're necessarily looking for. If we find something, we'll mention it to him. Right? Right?
I'm curious why the captain seems so.
Ill?
Doesn't he seem off to anyone else?
Yes.
Probably just tired.
Perhaps.
Relic's like, I don't know. I mean, like, I think he's just worn down because he's probably directionless. And Cobble, who is still kind of like munching on some fruit in the corner, laughs, and she's like, yeah, okay, yeah. It just is like not really paying attention to you all. And Klik, you can kind of like come down and join the party.
Yeah,
at this point.
I was gonna say, I come down the stairs and pick scraps of meat off the plates or in the kitchen. Sure, there's.
You don't have to
Minutes.
eat off other people's plate. I mean, you can,
no,
but there's
I just
also
do.
food for you.
It's
Okay,
not
perfect.
non-specific. A little bit of scavenging. I think I do a quick check-in on Janice. Just pop the pantry open and peek in.
Sure, yeah. Janice
And-
Droplet, the ooze that you have pulled off of the first island that you come across on this check.
She's in a
Tra-
barrel in the closet.
Yeah, so
She might eat people.
yeah, she knows you.
She
she
has
knows
eaten people.
She for sure
has-
does.
she has
She's
eaten
told us
It's
several-
not a yeah.
repeatedly.
Several elves, certainly.
I just do a quick check. I don't say anything. Just
When you open up the door, just out of like a little knot hole in the side of the barrel, just this tiny little. As soon as you open the door, this tiny little sliver of ooze comes out and forms into a tiny little hand and goes.
That's terrifying
Launch
to you.
her
I think it's
into space.
nice. She waved, and you're like, "No way, man."
I close the door very quickly, and I go eat with everybody else. Did I see the captain passing? Like, do I know that he is sort of off?
Yeah,
today?
you, absolutely. As you kind of like scoot by him in the hall, I'm not even gonna make you roll for it because if you want to kind of like try and get more information out of it, or like if you have like a more specific question about his demeanor, you can roll for it. But as far as just like him walking by you, you've seen it before. You know that he still looks pale, kind of.
Sure. I think I take an extra close look at him as I pass him in the hallway, and just for some kind of insight check.
Sure, absolutely.
Just worried about his well-being.
Cool. Yeah, go for it.
Ooh, that's actually a roll. 17.
Okay, with the 17, let me think. Is there? You're just looking for his well-being? Is that? I just want to make sure.
Yeah. I think it's mostly out of concern.
Okay, cool. He doesn't look like it's escalating. It actually looks a little bit better, but it still looks, like his skin's not falling off or anything like that.
Right.
He just seems like clammy, out of it, distracted more than he does like actually ill.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. And so if that's kind of, like Relic has just kind of like encouraged this moment. more than anything, and he's not really like pushing for like let's do a thing right now. He's just kind of like you and me, you and me. And so if there's anything anybody wants to do specifically, you all, this is the morning. You can feel the ship kind of like start to get going, and Goat kind of whistles as like, yo, get to your positions, your roles here and there. Because you know that you have a long day of kind of like terminal speed into spell jamming as fast as you can possibly go through empty wild space to get to your final destination. So you have a bit of a whole day ahead of you just on the ship. So if you want to just throw out a little flavor each on what exactly you all are doing to kind of man your positions and get to this route, then let me know. Sound off. Tell me what's going on here.
I think Klik basically acts as Goat's number 2, making sure the ropes go where they go and where the sails go where they go, and everything on deck is, prepared for landing. But I think she basically takes orders from Goat today.
Cool. Yeah. So you and her are kind of hanging out, just doing the usual maintenance. It takes some upkeep of the ship and just kind of like monitoring as you all are moving at such a high velocity that you need to make sure things aren't falling apart. But the sails allowing you to steer, even though it's magic, they still do. And so, yeah, you were kind of just like going through the routine with her.
Yeah.
What else? Who else? Flute, you pushing barrels? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm rocking a barrel 2 inches over to the corner, making sure the rope is coiled. I don't know who would be nearby me. Maybe Moonboy or K.A.I. I don't know who on deck would be nearby me, but I have been like thinking, and I'd be like, maybe we can use this stop it from Ericta to get rid of the ship that's following us.
Is it still following us? Is it still back there now that we're full jam?
You would, well, let's Moonboy, are you establishing yourself kind of like hanging out with Flute for this, or what's the vibe there?
Yeah, the Moonboy's entire vibe his entire thing when they're going into full jam is I think he's just reading the stars, looking for portents. He's trying to cast bones and look for specific, wicked omens that they're going the wrong way. He navigates by the stars and things. He's playing navigator and correcting Cobble in annoying ways, I think.
Yeah.
But he does that. That's something that he does every 15 minutes, where he just looks at the stars and he's like, raven, mushroom.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. So you all have these rocky talkies that are sending stones that kind of like you all can use back and forth, no problem. Sure. And so I love the idea of you just like throwing things to Cobble, who's up in the crow's nest, just like every once in a while. But it also makes sense that you don't need to physically be in the same places, physically be in a certain spot to do this. Is you're just kind of like spaced out.
Sure.
Soaking this in. Cool.
Precisely.
So yeah, why don't you? And then K.A.I, are you hanging with this crew, or do you have something else to do?
I was going to spend some time doing some like touch-ups on the damaged part of the ship. Doing some
cool.
repairs.
So then let's resolve this scene real quick, and then we'll jump to all of those folks. So Moonboy, Flute kind of throws that out to you.
I mean, maybe we should just stop and say hi to them. They've never shown us that they're trying to hurt us.
Stop and say hi to the ship. Yeah,
the ship that's following us.
The man of war that's under us.
Honestly, it's a cool ship. I'd like to say.
Ship down at port. Maybe we could have a closer look.
Okay. Sure. I'm just saying not everyone you meet out here is a villain. I mean, we met, didn't we? And through you...
I did think you were a villain when I first met you.
And through you, I met Windrider. The coolest guy I've ever seen.
That's true. That is true.
It's not all bad people out here, Flute. I'm just saying you don't always have to be such a coward. We're all pulling for you.
Yeah. How How does Flute play this?
He just kind of sighs. He's basking in the that Moonboy likes the Windrider, and it's worth being called the coward and his other persona.
I think he's like. I think the
It's something
Moonboy.
I'm working on.
You know, you remind me of him.
What? But we're nothing alike. He has black hair, and I have this blonde hair.
You remind me of him in here, man.
Oh,
Except
right. Okay.
except he's a gigantic star, and you're just a little bitty star. But you know what happens when two stars crash together? They both die
Something
a lot of
horrible?
the time, but sometimes they become the biggest star anyone's ever seen.
Is that true?
You hear Cobble come across the rocky talk and say, "No."
Shut up, Cobble.
Look. And she just is like, never mind. Okay. Wonderful. So just kind of camera cutting over to Goat and Klik real quick, who are doing a little bit of sail maintenance in this moment. She's like, "Man, you really kicked ass out there."
Thank you. That's all I know how to do. Kick ass and slice ass and stab ass.
You've got this like translator on your chest that's translating your Kreen like language, and I imagine you like are using different words besides ass, but it only knows this. And it's just like saying the same thing.
Tohr-Kreen have over 5,000 words for ass.
And so, so she's like, "Oh, man, so like, are you? I know you like got hired to be someone who like goes and checks things out, and it's kind of like your whole crew is like the adventuring crew of the ship, but like, are you a trained like warrior, like fighter? Like, what's up with that?" She says that she's like, classic, just like I'm
Sure.
We're chit chatting while we work thing.
Yeah. Well, that's how I was raised. Everyone around me was a warrior. Everyone knew how to kick ass. So that's, I mean, I am no better a warrior than anyone else in my clutch. I just, when I leave, I just am a better fighter than people, I was raised in a warrior society. Everything was based on who could beat who in a fight and who could not get their antennas jammed into the ground repeatedly and who could hang on to their Githka rather like when you're wrestling on the ground, and whose brother wasn't a big asshole,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I know. Where I come from too, that was the same. It was the same thing. Look at me, she says, and like gestures to how she is almost twice as tall as you, and you are the tallest one on the ship besides her. Yeah. And she's like, I didn't do that. Once I did that, I stopped fighting.
Yeah. How did you stop fighting? That's the only thing we know how to do.
That's not true. I can lift things. I can, talk to people. I can ride on the ship. Look at how many things I do here. Just because I stopped doing something that I was good at doesn't mean that I can't do other things. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying. I understand what you're saying. I chose a different path than you. And she says, like, kind of like not looking at you a little bit too. Like, it's clear that there's a little bit of like she's nervous about talking to you about it.
Sure. Were you a powerful warrior?
Oh no. I was big. So yeah, it was the same thing.
Big. when you're fighting against everybody who is big, you know. Did
Yeah.
you fight you amongst each other? That was how everything. That's how we did everything at home.
Yeah,
If you like, who was gonna do the dishes and who was gonna rule the kingdom and who was gonna have to take the bug spit out and make the weapons with
make the
it,
weapons with your bug spit. Yeah. You told me that. That's gross. I like it though.
It's you had everything you had to fight over. If you won, you got to do it, you know.
Yeah, that's why I left. I don't like that. I think that is a bad way to solve problems.
But it means that the most powerful people do the most things.
Yeah, but what if... I don't know. You know, you're talking about the big brothers who are assholes. I know a lot of big brothers that are assholes who are a lot more powerful than me, and I'm not going to fucking listen to them. She says, like, just like, I don't...
Well, then you just should figure out how to beat them in a fight.
I did. I won the fight by leaving and never coming back and never fighting again. She says, like, kind of like turning around a little bit and looking at you now in a way that is like a little disconcerting, as she was like big when she, you know, she's not threatening you, but she just is like making different, like they could feel the heat rise in her voice. That's clearly not about you.
Yeah. Well, good for you. You get to see this big wide world.
Yeah, I do.
Do you miss your family?
No, I don't. It's just a good family. It's just like, I'm worried about it, though. I don't, we got in a bunch of fights recently.
Your family?
No. I'm worried about this family. Our family.
Oh.
She puts, like, her hand down on the button on the ship. She's like, yeah, I don't, I'm worried about the path we're on. It seems like we're kicking a bunch of ass when we don't need to. Like, we're not adventurers. We don't need to do that.
Well, it seems like some people want to be adventurers.
I don't.
But I will tell you, I will do everything I can to make sure this family is safe. That is all I'm doing here. I can't go home. I can't go home to my family, so I have to protect this family now. Because...
Like, you're not allowed to go home, or like you are like me and like just shoot, don't ever like you make the rules.
It's complicated.
Okay.
But they don't want me there, so I'm here now.
Oh yeah, you are, she says, and kind of like scoops you up in her arm as she's like also pulling a rope too, like at the same time. It's like unexpected because she's gone back to work and
sure
she's still scooping you up.
I am not used to being picked up.
She does it. She picks up Moonboy and Flute kind of often, but she does not often pick you up, and she just kind of like scoops you into a one-arm hug.
I kind of brace against it with all four arms. Yes, thank you.
Okay, cool. So, cutting down to K.A.I now, who is on the interior of the ship. And, you were kind of just down there, and all of a sudden you see, like, as you're inspecting the ship. Well, first of all, let's have you first do you can either do an Arcana check, or if you have another reason to do something else, you can make that argument with me. But as you were kind of like trying to check to see how the ship looks from the fixings that you've done to it after it was pelted.
Arcana makes sense to me.
Sure. Roll that d20.
17.
Roll that beautiful d20.
17? Okay, cool. It looks like you can tell where you fixed it, which is not a great sign, but it's not necessarily a bad sign. It's more cosmetic. But you can also see that it is kind of like undulating in a way that the rest of the boards on the ship aren't, which is not a problem right now, but will be after time. So you know that like kind of like you've done a patch job and not a complete fix, and that so you will need at Firma Regna to have someone who has more like spell jamming specific capabilities kind of like come in and do the patch job. which you can try if you want to, but like while it's moving, it would be kind of like difficult to.
I imagine the materials alone I do not possess.
Yeah, it's its own thing. And as you kind of like think that, you hear Cobble's voice come from like what you think is the walkie-talkie, but it was instead like right by your shoulder. Go, the materials alone, you know.
I do not possess. Oh, hello.
So yeah, this just tiny little kobold with her long. God, we looked up the name of it and everything, and I still can't remember the name of like the lizard goiter.
Oh, a waddle.
Waddle.
No,
Okay.
it's got a different name. We looked it up.
Okay. Well, I one of these days
Chat
I'll
knew
remember.
last
A
time.
dewlap.
Is it
Dewlap.
Okay.
Yeah, waddle,
dewlap.
I think it's on a turkey. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Cool.
Correct.
I just want to
Well-
know because we figured it out. Yeah. So
Well,
she's
this
like
is-
kind of.
This has been better than Heroes. Good night, everybody.
Yeah. So she, yes, she has this like, she's just like stroking her dewlap
Gross.
and
Yeah.
looking at this with you, Kai.
No one
Hello,
needs to
Cabo.
see that.
Is there something I
Yes.
can get for you?
Yes, it is. You can get me everything you know about yourself. She looks, and then she looks right at you.
That, well. All right, a request for exposition.
No.
Write it down.
She wags her finger. No. Let me be more specific. Before I told you that I was going to die I thought I was going to die in the realm of the what we now know as a Gravislayer, but she's like,
Yes.
my visions are telling me something different now, and it's mostly about you. So, why?
I don't know. Perhaps you could tell me about your visions.
I would never do such a thing. That's very private.
Oh, I apologize.
You're forgiven.
But how am I to know how I fit into them? I suppose I will try to. I mean, if you're asking me if I have some sort of secret, I do
Well,
not.
Let's start with this. How did you learn? You fixed the ship with your tools in a way that Goliath can't and Goat can't. What?
Ah.
Why do you? How? And why? And who? And where? She kind of like.
Well, I can see the nature of this ship in the way that others cannot. Where others see wood and steel and lacquer, I see the latent magical energies that exist within all things, and I'm able to communicate with those energies in ways that others are not.
So you're talking to the ship?
In a manner of speaking.
Mm.
Not talking precisely, but reading.
Okay, that is different.
It is not. It is neither one nor the other.
Do you say things to the ship?
Well, sometimes, but not for any particular reason.
So it's
Sometimes
not
I just get to have one, you know.
like what?
Just then,
Oh,
in
I
the
mean-
background, you see Moonboy with a jar of applesauce going, "Would you like some more applesauce, ship?" And he's just feeding it to like a stare, like into it, or like into a keyhole.
Gross. I imagine the ship smells so bad. All of the secret meats and
So many secret
juices
meats.
that you've
I do a lot of
ferreted away
cleaning.
in every crack in this ship.
Yeah, not all of Kai's hidden snacks get found.
Not yet.
Yeah, they'll be found by future generations.
Ugh.
Someone said I'm shipping Kai in the ship. That's funny.
Oh, you got a ship.
Ship.
So
I speak to the ship sometimes.
okay.
Nothing too interesting.
She looks at you and she goes, "Who made you?"
No one. Well, Who made me? What am I? I made this body that you see. It is a project of my own design.
Can you roll a persuasion check? As she is not 100% sure that she believes you.
Sure. All right, I rolled a...
And you actually, you can, if, I will say I said that out of instinct, but if you are holding anything back from her, which you do not have to tell anyone, you can add your deception modifier to it. And if you are being fully honest and want her to know that you are being fully honest, you can add your persuasion modifier, but you don't have to tell us. In fact, I would tell you not to tell us.
Okay, it's a 16.
All right. Okay, cool. She looks at you and is like, "You made yourself, but what were you before? I don't remember anything before I was born. What do you remember?"
I do not remember before I came into existence. I once inhabited the central station of a Arcane workshop. And it's a strange origin story, but it is the truth. And it is that machine which I used to create this body.
"Whose workshop?" she says. Like giving you she's clearly interrogating you in a way that she's not even hiding. She's kind of like tried for a moment to do it and then realized quickly she's like, I can't do this. And then now she's just like kind of like pointing her finger at you and asking you questions in a way that's like a mom like catching a stoned teenager or something. Like,
well, there was only ever one other entity there. They taught me a great many things. I do not know if the workshop belonged to them, but they were its caretaker for many years. Until one day they did not return, as they did each day.
Because you killed them?
I did not kill them. I would never kill them. I do not know where they went or why they left.
I've seen what that armor could do.
I'm not saying that I couldn't have. I don't know. They were a very powerful magic user.
So are you? I've seen. You all. She kind of like does that with her finger.
Thank you. But regardless, I did not kill them. I do not know where they went or why. Only that they did not return and that I was alone for a very long time.
She kind of like leans forward and like takes her like staff that has this like kind of like little glowing, just like slightly glowing orb on the top of it, and she kind of like leans it down at you, and she's like, "I believe you." And she kind of like goes back and she's like, "I still think you're hiding something, but
well,
I also believe you."
If I am, I don't know what it is.
She kind of like turns and walks away, and she's like, "You can't. No one cooks that good without a couple of secrets."
I read a lot of cookbooks.
Yeah, sure. And I read a lot of maps. And she kind of like waddles upstairs a little
Do you
bit.
not understand how that explains? Okay.
She
makes
just
sense.
laps up the stairs.
I do want to take a few minutes and examine the lighthouse book that I found.
Sure,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. So in this moment below deck, you know that you are now kind of like, you're alone after Cobbla has wandered away from you, and you especially have found this journal that has an etching of a lighthouse on the front of it, which you could guess is probably connected to the ghost who you met, who said that they could not remember their own name, but they did remember the name, what lighthouses were, and so yeah, a fair connection. What are you looking for in this book?
I would like to know the origins of the entity that we met, and I would like to understand a bit more about them and maybe reach some kind of answer about who they were and what happened to them.
Cool. So the book is pretty beat up. Why don't we have you do some sort of well, you tell me a little bit what skill check you would like to do, as you are, you're not a tinkerer, but you have tinkering abilities. Kind of like what skill do you think you would be using to put this book
I could use my tinker's tools.
Okay, that clocks with me.
You could use mending again.
Says Moonboy. He's just like
It's
at the elbow.
no. It's a memory. You could
Okay.
use mending again.
Yeah, before I use magic, I will try to use my intricate tools.
Cool. So you kind of just like plop down a little bit, like, you know, legs crossed on the ground in the hull of the ship here, and can kind of go to town on this book a little bit and see if you can No.
This is what I
No.
You
do.
heard him. He starts
Go to
making
town.
out with the
I mean, we
book.
don't know that much about K.A.I. I don't know the biology.
All right, fan art.
God.
Do
I
your
will
thing.
Fire up the fan art engines.
Yeah. I'll gift a sub to the best
To the best.
to the
I'm
best
going to town on a book.
Whoever draws the best K.A.I. making out with a book
making out.
wins.
But come on.
I am going
yeah,
to
You're
town
not-
by
You're not me.
PG-13.
using my Tinker's tools to take it apart, or not take it apart, but keep it together.
All right, go for it. What'd you get?
Natural 20.
Get the fuck out of here.
My guy.
on my brand new die with the moss inside.
Incredible.
Truly.
Aaron does roll well, but last night in our game he rolled a 1 while he was 320 feet up the ground, so every now and then he just rolls poorly.
Not great.
That's
He fell off of a hippogriff.
that's 30d6, am I right?
I managed to catch
Or close
myself.
to it. Yeah, close to it. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I think with that, I would love to cut to break as we're going at this, and I will give the answer to exactly what you get out of a natural 20 and putting this book together after break. So as soon as I get the thumbs up from our wonderful stream producer Case, we will shout out. We now have someone, so I don't have to do it, so I can just fully DM and
Stream director.
stream director.
Leaving them
Truly.
hanging on that juicy 20.
All these cool things. I don't know where I am in the frame anymore, but all the cool things that you see happen around here are because of Kate. She's amazing. Okay, cool. We're gonna cut to break real quick. We're gonna drink pee, and then we're going to.
Now we're not
Let's make
funny.
t-shirts.
Just
Let's make t-shirts that say "Drink Pee."
All right, we're back. So you, Kai, I'm going right in. So you, Kai, are I almost said go to town again. God damn it. You guys have taken this away from me.
Really
Is that really
digging into that book?
Just go to town, bud.
So you quickly realize the order that the patrons should be in, and it's not hard with your just mechanical mindset a little bit to just just like go through. Okay, I've sorted this all out. You've got it sorted. You quickly realize how the binding of the book is designed, and you just it's not even hard for you to just like whoop this thing back together. And with that, you get this story of a young tiefling boy. I actually have to find it real quick in my notes because I did not think you were going to get this. So I have to be 100% sure that I get the exact thing that I want to because I have it. So you get this story of a young tiefling boy who is very excited about his new opportunity on flying ships, which he refers to as spelljammers. Specifically, he lives on the Rock of Brawl, and here he is, talking in this journal that is clearly what it is about how he is going to go off and make some sort of fortune. It's like he got a new job basically here, and he's talking about it. And it's a thing you specifically notice is that there is not a day that is missed in this journal, and there's a lot of it that is kind of drivel. That even as you're trying to sort through the details to be able to get some hints from it, you notice that it is more about checking in every single day than it is about writing down anything important. So there's just like a lot of mundane details. You can tell that he was born on the Rock of Brawl, and this was his first trip out on the Spelljammer that he's kind of like cataloging. He talks about a moment that you recognize that is like being excited about being on a Spelljammer ship, and then it kind of like turning into work and like the literal magic wearing off a little bit on his experience with it. And he wants to like make money to open his own business. He talks about in the journal how his family were fishermen, fisherwomen, all sorts of fishers across the board, and then it kind of just ends abruptly one day. And as you see a little bit described on what is described in the what you would recognize as like the layer of the Gravis layer, the kind of like we're lost in this loop here. And yeah, that's about it. If you have specific questions inside of that, I'm happy to give them to you. But I will say the one kind of like piece that you get for rolling a natural 20 that you would not have gotten without it is that you definitely glean some sort of like anxiety about forgetting things, anxiety about not remembering a day of the life that this character, who does not refer to themselves by name ever inside of the journal, but it's not just from even just the writing style, it's not hard for you to assume it's Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm. They're trying not to forget a certain day, or they're trying to write every day?
They're trying to write every day.
Okay.
They want to, yeah. And just a reminder that, not this important, chat just asked if that Lighthouse was a tiefling.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
So yeah, do you have any kind of questions inside of that?
I don't think so.
Then roll an Arcana check.
Okay.
Thanks, Jordan. I appreciate you laughing at that.
Arcana is 18.
You
You are a savant.
It's
I'm good at
insane.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't know. Like,
It's 11 plus 7.
someone find a moment where he has rolled below 10. I don't believe it exists. So you you don't know about why ghosts are made, or even like ghosts existing are outside of the actual realm, like no pun intended, of what you know about magic. But it is not hard at all for you to connect the fact that this very sentimental item is associated with lighthouse, is some sort of like symbol of lighthouse, hold his essence holding on to the existence here.
Right.
And you also, just since you rolled above a 15 too, remember Lighthouse talking about the closer that he got to the Gravis layer, there was kind of like a limit of him being able to, like, he could not go X amount in.
Perhaps he couldn't get close to this journal. I've read about ghosts being stuck in undeath because of unfinished business. So perhaps writing in the journal is his unfinished business. I'm going to find a pen.
Great.
And
I'm not going to make you roll an investigation check for it.
Okay,
You have the pen.
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a pen.
Good.
Finger pen?
And I'm going to open up the... Exactly. Yeah, it comes out of my hand.
Finger.
Is that in the middle?
Finger, hand.
Is that in the
finger.
middle of your hand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's right there. It's my stylus. And I'm going to open up to the last page. I'm going to write, this concludes the story of my friend who I knew as Lighthouse.
Okay. Roll. No, I think that I honestly have to think about it for just a second. Give me a tiny little minute.
Put in something about the Moonboy. Put in the Wango Flango. Write it down at the end there. Seriously, it works everywhere. You can put it anywhere.
Get out of my head! Wango,
Yeah.
wango, damn it!
Flashback to actual Moonboy saying that about something else, being like saying write down Wango Flango.
He's reminding
It was
himself
like at lunch.
just
Yeah.
to make a note of the phrase "wango bango." Oh, good one. Right up there with Hachimachi from the makers of Hachimachi. It's Wango Bango.
Comes Wango Flango.
All right. So with that, after you write it down, you can see like it like kind of like the pages ripple a little bit, and you're like, okay, cool. Clearly, something magic is happening here. But it doesn't have this like blue float that is arcane energy. You know, that like is usually like a magic item or something would pull to the book or something, have this like highlight. But there is just like this ripple here, and the book starts to spin around, and you kind of like lean back from it a little bit, but it doesn't. You kind of like drop it, but it doesn't move, and it just like continues to spin around, and you see this like mist forming out of it, and from this, the book seems to, and you know this is not a result of it just spinning around because your craftsmanship was very good with the book. It just seems to like fly apart, like pages fly out of it, but when they fly out, they just seem to like again dissipate into mist and get pulled back into this middle portion. And this like cone at first of this like white glowing light appears, and then all of a sudden it fills out as the book just like fully pulled apart, into this character that you know as Lighthouse, this tiefling, this young tiefling boy who is wearing like a shirt that has pockets all over it. And he's like, whoa, that hasn't happened before.
It's my first time as well.
He goes,
Are you Are you free? What's the deal?
He goes, I was unpleasantly dragged a bit before, as my range changed, which I thought would probably be a good thing, but I didn't know. He's like, I feel different. Where's Quick?
Klik? Well, I
Quick!
can go.
Oh, and he looks and he goes, that's not her name. I remember. Her name is Klik. And he looks at you. And he says, ooh, I don't think I have much time.
Oh no.
And he like takes it and he's like, no. It's the other way. And he looks and he walks over to you. And before he kind of like floated around, just kind of like imitating walking. And this time he's like clearly walking, even though his ghost form looks the same. And he puts his arms on you, on your shoulders, and you can feel like the thud of them as they lean down in a way that is not your arcane armor reacting to a ghost. It is Lighthouse's hands being on your shoulder. And he says, thank you. I don't wish to stay here. Everyone I know is dead. I just want something to change. This in between is not any good. Don't try for it. It's not satisfying. I just want to step into something else. It's okay. And he goes, thank you. You all are the people who did that. I've met so many like you. You all are good. Keep going.
We will. And I'm going to give him a hug.
Yeah. And
I'm going to hug that ghost.
Let's give them something to talk about.
he goes, can you get quick? Click. He corrects
Yeah.
himself.
Can I?
I'm going to send Bessner zooming
Yeah.
up. It's going to go and find Klik.
Your little mechanical hummingbird that you have built just up immediately. And when you see it, Klik, is not hard for you to know. You've been around Bessner long enough to know what is like, come here, and what is like,
What is
hello.
Terminator mode is?
Yeah, it's like,
Okay.
yeah. And it's, so you can follow Bessner down below deck. And you see a still glowing, still a little spectral, but clearly different lighthouse. And he goes, Klik.
Lighthouse.
He goes, yes.
Look what we found.
Here, look at you.
He goes, I am not here for long. I can feel my whatever it is changing. I would not.
Look great.
Thank you. And he kind of bows.
So thin.
He's like, I've been working hard all these centuries, and kind of like vogues a little bit.
Okay.
And he says, I remember many things, but one of the memories I have that is not of my life, but is of my spectral existence, is you making the decision to save me when you had no reason to. And wherever I go next, I just want you to know I will tell your story. And I appreciate it because you did not have to do that. It made no sense. And you know what? I'm better because of it. And he was like, this one's for you. And he kind of like leans forward and hugs you. And you, K.A.I, were able to hug Lighthouse before because you have kind of like the arcane ability to interact with things that are not physical. And this is him being able to hug because he is kind of like going through this process that is de-ghosting in some way.
It's
Disgusting.
real boyification. It's real.
He's Pinocchioing.
The process of deghostification is a long and agonizing
I'm gonna hug him with all four arms, and I'm gonna say, "Well, friends help friends, and you saved our lives, so we had to save yours."
Hell yeah, I did. I'm a lighthouse. And then he goes, wait, no. My name is Telex. And he looks at you and he goes, my name is Telex.
It's nice
Nice.
to meet you, Telex.
Nice to know you. And he kind of like gives you a little cheer and he just like leans back like he's falling and it just kind of goes up and out and fades away a bit. And he is gone. And that is the end of Lighthouse, it seems, to you all. Telex. Yeah.
I'm gonna give Kai a hug.
Oh yeah, big time.
We're gonna hug. We're gonna
Big time hug time.
The Moonboy comes up from below deck and he's like, did a ghost guy just float through anybody else's bedroom?
It's really nice.
Good.
It's really nice.
It was nice. Come here, Moonboy.
You know what they say, bustin' makes you feel good.
Thanks for going to town on that book, Kai.
Yes, I could hear you going to town on that book all the way from my bunk.
Yes, it was a successful union. It's interesting that we are all currently on the ship going to town.
We are. We're going to town.
That's the name of the episode. There it is. I don't need to
going
ask
to
this
name
time.
an episode of someone's life or maybe an episode of someone's day. You could call it Going to Town.
Going to town.
Okay, cool. Flute, what are you doing right now?
I was thinking I might, as Klik and K.A.I are hugging, I open a hatch above them, and I'm like, K.A.I, what's for lunch anyway? And I'll just sort of like stop and like see them and watch them like hugging, and kind of like I don't think I've ever seen them hugging below deck before. So I'll just be like staring at them.
Anything you want, Flute. Anything you and Windrider want.
Yeah, so like in a cinematic sense, this kind of like zooms out a little bit as you all can see the dinger, just moving. If you were outside of the ship, moving at just
jamming, full jam.
Yeah.
Just leaving a big sticky trail of jam through space.
Yeah, exactly. And you all are going along here for a while. I don't know, you doing whatever you all like to be doing. But there is no moment of like being disturbed through this. And you can feel just like the consistency of just moving through open space. So if anyone would like to accomplish anything, you kind of like have the rest of the day.
I would like to ask Cobble what she thinks about the captain's sickness. I would like to I think one evening while we're all sitting around at mess, we're all eating some trifle or lovely meringue that K.A.I has thrown together. The Moonboy is like, so what does everybody think is going on with the Captain? Cobble, you've been around for a long time. Have you ever seen anything like it before?
Let's just call it lunch. Like everybody is down here except for Goliathan, as you all are kind of like eating K.A.I.'s cooking, who's in quite the chipper mood. So if you all are kind of, again, like in this kitchen area with this big square table in the center, and you had this moment with Cobble, and she's like, whatever. People get, it's probably got a cold or something.
Yes,
why do you ask?
Cold. Well, he just looks like weirdly sick right? Like it's a weird sick, you know?
She goes, did you see something?
Yeah. I see lots of things.
What do you look at under your hood?
I talk to the moon. The moon talks to me. What do you look at under your hood?
Darkness. I don't see anything. What do you mean? Like you see the actual moon?
Sounds like you better get a better hood.
She says, "You're right.
Well,
Give me your hood. Give me your hood. Can I look?
Come and take it." No, of course you can't. It's my moon. Keep your hands off of my hat, Cobble. Yes, I see my moon, and I hope to find my moon one day. And you know,
have you never met your moon?
She remains in my hat. Well, maybe I have. I think perhaps I have at some point. I have a distant memory. I seem to know her very well, and she knows me, and she always gives me good advice. But no, you can't talk to her. Is there something you would like me to ask the moon for you, Cobble?
Yes. Ooh. How am I going to die?
How are you going to die? You consider it asked. I will say the moon doesn't necessarily speak in absolutes, so you could get the answer might be it happens in autumn or something like that. The moon likes to she likes crazy games, you know.
Sure. She kind of like thinks for a second. She's like, I familiar with divination. And she kind of thinks. She kind of strokes her dewlap, and she goes, "Ask it if I should leave the ship or not."
Okay. Do you want me to do it right now?
Yes, in front of me right now.
Okay. Actually, I think I'd prefer... It's hard for me to do it when people are watching.
You do it when people are watching all the time.
Shut up, Kai.
Yeah, are you lying to her?
Yes, she's creeping me out.
Okay, cool. Roll a deception check.
Thanks for putting me on blast, Kai.
You know how I am.
Loves a blast.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a 19.
Oh, boy. She kind of looks around. She's like, no. Oh, yeah, okay. I want you to be the most comfortable you can be because I want the best answer that I can possibly get is I don't want to die.
Sure.
She's like, I've lived a long time and I would love to, well, I've made my peace with it, but if I have the out, I would love to take it. Kind of shrugs.
Yes.
Like, which is like a little bit of a different answer than you've heard from her before, but or just
sure.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Okay, well, I'll go into the bathroom and I'll talk to the moon and come right back.
Sure, go for it.
Okay.
The bathrooms on ships? Like,
we better hope so.
I don't know if that's like there's just.
Let's not walk this path.
What does that look like? You know? Harlan, I want an in-detail description of. Oh, there's the cat. The bathroom.
The cat came for bathroom talk.
She wants to talk about the bathroom.
As someone who shits in a box, I'd also like to know how this works.
Well, rules is written. You know, I don't know.
What's a magic toilet look like on the ship? You just hang your butt off the side.
Yeah, the Moonboy goes.
So.
Yeah, so our gravity sphere is just a sewage ring.
The Moonboy goes in, and the Moonboy goes into the latrine, and it's very fevered, and he closes the door behind him, and he kind of looks out again because he doesn't. I don't even need an insight roll to this. Cobble's freaking me out. She's got a crazy look in her dewlap, and he looks into the toilet and sees the vacuum of space underneath him. It's kind of an airlock situation, I'd imagine, that blasts your dookies out into the jam trail.
It's like a
look, hey, the jam trail.
Is this the Dave Matthews tour bus of space?
Oh, all right. Well, that's the night, everybody. No, okay.
It probably stores the waste, and then when we land, we put it into the water system or something.
It's like
I'm going to settle this and canonize it real quick.
Aaron was right. We needed to not discuss it.
I know. I will settle it real quick.
It's a bag of
It's a bag of devouring. No, it's a bag of devouring that
no.
is specifically attached to a chair. So it is
What?
it is a bag.
Shit in a magic bag.
It's a bag that just like
The D&D composting toilet. Cool.
This is
All
shocking news.
Um,
I'm
yeah,
so glad that Kai's never been in there.
I also imagine K.A.I has never been in there, so it'd be like, what? Okay, so he goes
Feed the
in.
table scraps.
He
somebody
pretends to be using-
2 months subscribed at that moment. So just shout out to
They're like,
Slide
I'm
the
on
shit
board.
down.
If this is the kind of stuff I can look forward to, potty talk.
This is
And
the
he,
kind of content
Look
you
at
can
that cat.
expect to
That
devour.
cat is into it.
So the Moonboy jumps up on the
loves
toilet
D&D.
and he pulls his hat off and he puts his head in and he
Don't
sees
fall
one by
in.
one.
Jesus Christ. I think
by
you
one.
don't come out.
Yeah, hilarious. Flute.
Wait, can we put Janice in the bag of devouring?
Flute.
Ooh. Okay, sorry. What does
Probably.
the moon say?
Yeah, he looks into the thing and he sees the stars come out and then he sees the moon kind of turn around and hello, the moon.
Hello, Moonboy.
The moon. I've got to ask you something. My friend Cobble, friend is strong. My co-worker Cobble, asked me to ask a question to you, but I know that's not really how it works, and I think that she knows that's not really how it works either. And I don't like being manipulated, so I guess my question to you, the moon, is: do you trust Cobble?
Okay. I'm going to kick it out of character here real quick. Jordan, I want you to tell me, what does the Moonboy mean by trust? Which I'm sorry, that's an annoying question.
He wants to know, will disaster befall us if Cobble remains on the dinger?
She gives you... yeah, I legitimately have to go through a couple things in my head, which I wish I was fast enough to be able to spit this out beautifully, but this is a complicated question, and I want to give it a complicated answer with wield or woe, so I have to think about it for just a second.
Well, we
Sure.
can go back to talking about this bag of devouring.
Get back
that
into this
sounds
bag of
like shit.
devouring. I've just been reading up on it. So apparently, there's a
Please read it.
gigantic extra-dimensional entity of which this bag is its orifice. So we are going to the bathroom into the orifice of a gigantic extra-dimensional entity that then consumes it. Gross, but hey, it's space.
Look, all of our bags at Bags of Consuming Co. are made by willing extra-dimensional entities. They've signed a contract. They are each attached to their own individual bag.
If one of us reaches in there, there's a 50% chance we get sucked in. And we have to either be pulled out or somehow escape. So don't drop anything in the toilet and be careful even sitting on it. Like if your butt is sagging
Good God.
too low in it,
Seriously,
you just
this
get
would be
grabbed
the ti-
into a stomach.
This would be
Nightmare
the type
City.
of toilet that you need, like a construction helmet, and you have to sign a waiver
You
to
need a
use.
rope.
You know,
to,
Flute is
fix
full
yourself.
squatty pottying. I'm up on top of that thing.
Perched.
Yeah.
Good,
Flute's
thank you.
keeping
I have to say,
Flute's keeping his shirt tails out of it. Nothing's dangling in that thing.
I have to say, I did not remember the specifics of the stat block when I established it, but I'm riding with it now. We're in. It's canon.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, the
We
creature's
are
so big, it
pooping.
eats everything, it digests everything. It's
No problem. Okay. The moon looks at you and gives you... If the question is that if Cobble stays with the ship, will it be like bad for you all? Right? Is that a
Yes.
fair paraphrasing? She gives you a whoa, which is kind of to say that Cobble is not the best guider of the ship. Let's go metaphorically, is the moon is leaning. So if Aaron, if you want to give that as the moon, please do.
Wango bango. Totally.
Yes. So you think
Bad news.
you think the chick's bad news? I knew it. The moon.
Rough stuff, Moonboy.
I know it's tough. I'm going to have to talk to the others, but I think we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to leave her next stop. I'm afraid, but they won't agree with me. Anyway, goodbye, the moon. I hope I meet you someday.
Me too. I love you.
I love you, the moon. And he pulls his head out.
You hear a knock at the door.
And he goes,
What did she say?
hang on. The prophecy has turned into sort of a full bathroom break now. Just give me 5 minutes.
Don't fall in.
You're as hilarious as Flute earlier. And I come out and I say, I've got bad news, Cobble.
Huh?
The moon seems to think that it might happen on the ship.
All right, give me another deception check.
11.
Okay.
More than 10?
It's close. I gotta check her modifier. Hold on. Okay. She looks at you and goes, noted. And she's like, touches her. I lost again.
Dewlap.
It's
Dewlap,
called
there we go.
a dewlap.
Dewlap. And she rubs it and she was like, noted. She like kind of walks away in thought. Cool. Great. So once this happens, the day goes on a bit. Unless anyone else has anything on their to-do list, I'm going to push us to the end of this day.
Mm-mm.
Which, I mean, I got time for anything. You tell me. Okay.
Can the
That's
next
just-
illustration that we release be the toilet monster whose mouth we're repeatedly defecating into?
I have, that's
Look,
Jordan.
no
That's a
plans.
Jordan question.
Look,
Before
the
the end of the
bag.
day.
Look, the bag is attached to a tube. It's 6 feet down the tube. It's in the plumbing. You don't have to
Yeah,
worry about getting right into it.
Yeah, it's its own isolated thing. We will draw this. It will be a Patreon
Yeah,
tier.
the whole schematics, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a Steve Zissou style, the different floors
Cutaway?
of the dinger.
Yeah.
Oh, that would actually be.
Would you like that,
Sweet,
you
that'd be
hipsters?
sweet.
Is that what you
Actually,
want?
That would be
I want
cool.
that.
I
Yeah,
want
me
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's us.
Okay.
Cool. So as you all are going about the day, doing your work here and there, you feel as the ship comes out of terminal speed. It comes out of this kind of like rocketed, faster than reality speed, and you see, as you all kind of like step out of the deck of the ship, as you usually do when this happens, to see if there's danger, kind of like see what the moment is. You do see this beautiful sight in front of you, as there's this largely blue planet that has many, many islands sticking up all over the place. And it is an odd shape. It's kind of like the thing from Willy Wonka that they steal.
Hat.
No.
Oh, the
Everlasting
everlasting
Gobstopper.
Gobstopper.
A sphere?
Right, yeah, exactly. So it's like a bunch of like module bits almost. It seems like crumpled up, this planet. And you can see it. There's just like islands all over it. And you hear Goliath come over the walkie-talkie and it's like, that's it. That's Chandos. Good work, Cobble. Getting us here. Let's go land down and murmuring. He says, as the ship pushes down toward the atmosphere that you can see around this ship, it kind of cusps the bubble that is the atmosphere, and this bubble that is around your ship merges into it, and exactly like 2 water droplets hitting, it forms into the bigger thing that is this planet, and you all can feel the gravity of your ship kind of give way to the gravity of this planet as you enter.
Is it kind of weird? Is it kind of like that thing when you go into a friend's house and it smells weird? It's like stroganoff. You're like, oh, this planet smells like stroganoff.
But does it smell? Does it smell better? Does it smell better than our previous atmosphere bubble?
It's not bad. It's just different.
We're picking up a new bubble.
Sure, yeah. It smells something between musty and fresh, and like a growth. You know, like after it rains, but with a little bit of fermentation.
Little bit of that
wormy planet.
A little bit of that dandelion wine action going on.
Exactly. And it's kind of like when somebody's body odor smells good, you know, where it's like, this is, I can tell this is a bad smell. Like, I can tell this is a bad smell, but it's still like cool a little bit. Sorry, are we getting too far? Who knows? But yeah, so you go down into this bubble, and you can
Patreon tier. You get to find out exactly what gross smells Harlan's into.
Yeah, we all miss human contact too, Harlan.
It's a thing. I know what he's talking about. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you all have gone down into this. Sorry, that was disconcerting. I had to adjust there. I don't know why I'm being like, yeah, you got me. And so as you break down into this bubble, you can see the most notable thing you see out of all of these islands is there's like clearly one main thing, which is a pair of giant legs that are holding up a platform. Are you all in real life familiar with Baba Yaga's hut? Do you know what that is? Yeah. Okay, so
I'm gonna Google it right now, but
yeah, for the folks who don't know, it's like a house on chicken legs. This is kind of like that, except it's a city on big mantis-looking legs. That is like just almost a mile or 2 high. That are kind of just like bent there. And there is a platform that is clearly like looks like it's growing out of the top of the legs. There's like this earthen platform that is overgrown with things all around it. And there's a lip of like a raised dock all the way around and you can like see other Spelljammer ships docked on it. And you're like, that is from Arigna. That you know immediately.
Are the mantis legs, are they made out of like stone, or is this like a walking bio platform thing?
Do a perception check.
That's a nat 20, you guys. That's a nat 20. Remember when he rode badly.
It's always the 20 for are these legs made out of stone and not in the critical moment of combat.
Yeah. Tell me, describe the legs more. Describe them slowly. Turn the lights down.
So that he can savor them when he's lying dying after failing
meaty?
a roll.
Are they, how many C's? How many C's are in the thickness? Go on.
Yeah, to answer your natural 20, no.
No, what?
No, so they are not made out of stone or anything like that. You can see them like kind of ripple a little bit, and with that, with the natural 20, I will give you that like it is clear from what the Moonboy knows about the world that these legs are put here. As you can see, this like tiny shift, it's like almost an earthquake that you can see from a distance off, as a couple of the islands almost like roll over and disappear, and you're like, ooh, and you can see that it's easy for you to infer that the tectonics of this planet are not stable. So they move often, and as one of those ripples happens, you see one of the legs adjust, and the city does not move at all. You know, it's like an owl whose head can stay the same, but the legs adjust. So it's no problem. Yeah. And you hear...
Sorry.
You hear Goliath's
Are
voice.
you my mother?
Yeah, exactly.
you hear Goliath's voice come over the rocky talk. He's like, pretty cool, ain't it? He's like, for Marigna? It's like a new city that's figured out how to live on this weird planet. It's pretty cool.
So, I'm sorry, I'm still not clear. Is it like bug legs, or are these like architectural wonders? Are these like mechanical gimbals?
He comes over. If you're asking him that, he's like, beats me. There's a lot of different stories about where these legs came from, but this planet wouldn't be what it was without them, I can tell you that.
Sure.
Can I
Cool.
tell if they're biological?
Sure.
I mean,
it's tough to do this from like the actual atmosphere, but I mean, whatever. You'll probably roll a 30, so it'll be fine.
Well, I will say I was just trying to do that, and I got a 20. So
Yeah, I mean, he did get it that they are, it's not an actual being, but they are definitely seem to, when you see them react, they react in a not like a methodical way, but it's more of like stimulus being applied to, so like it's someone who you would say like trying to keep their balance is like actually what it was. So you get that they are organic in some way.
yeah.
Cool. I rolled a 3.
Good for you. I'm happy about it.
The good times are over.
We're all
Those
growing here
streakins.
outside of combat.
Yeah.
I feel like we should level up after this.
You know, as long as we're shouting out when we feel we should level up every time.
Great. So as you all are floating down, you hear Gerlach go, "Oh boy, I'm ready to let a load off." And let's have everyone do a perception check with that.
Uh-oh. Oh,
11.
there's my nat 20.
Mine
Yeah.
too.
Whoa.
20, boy.
Double
Dang.
nat 20?
You're
I have
looking-
never seen that in all of my days
Looking.
of D'ing and D'ing. I've never
guys are
seen a
seas.
dual.
Oh, we
Nat
perceive. Oh, we perceive.
We're just up front, just perceiving the shit.
Tell
out
me
of
every
shit.
nuance of this
Whoa.
sentence that Goliath just said.
Yes, I can see that guy's. Oh my god, I could see that guy's social security number.
I'll tell you what, that's good for you all, because you see, as you all are kind of like looking around, and you're kind of like marveling at this thing that is on Chandos, this like floating city, not quite floating, but supported city.
Walking.
Yeah. There still is like a little moment of you that is still realizing that you all are at work, and with that, Flute's little bit of fear, Klik's warrior instincts are still keeping an eye out as you all are entering a new space that you are unfamiliar with. And you see cresting out of the clouds that you have cut through to be able to approach through Firmarigna, clearly kind of like hiding in this spot that is the quickest entry from this planet to Firmarigna. 2 ships pull out of the cloud on either side of you and are moving in lockstep with you behind you, accelerating very quickly, trying to flank you. And you, I assume that you immediately alert the whole crew.
Oh, yeah.
And that will drastically change how we enter combat next week. So we're going to
We're
call it
playing
there.
late. We're playing late. We said that we could play late. We get to play late now.
I think I don't want to start combat right now. So we're calling it tonight.
Mom said we could stay up.
Man.
We're
You can
calling it
still
tonight.
have Cheez-Its. You can still have Cheez-Its.
I know. We are going to, just to everyone in the chat who's here hanging out with us, we are going to try and push it to 2.5 hours here and there, but I feel like
Yes.
I'm a stickler for calling it a little bit early rather than a little bit too late. So,
Fair.
yeah,
Seems like
but
as good a time as any.
boy,
I'm
we
sweatier
will-
than I've ever been. And that's
Whoa.
saying something.
So next
Click,
week,
I imagine Click and Flute even say it at the exact same time. Ships!
Yeah, you see the one on the left, I see the one on the right, and we're both like, ah!
Ships!
How bad?
yeah. So I will definitely give you all a little bit of a combat advantage that you would not have had. In fact, I was hoping to get quite the advantage on you all as they were waiting for prey here. So that being said, we can pick it up here next week. We
Come
will
back
start
next week
with
for a
combat.
pirate battle.
Our first ship battle.
Ship battle, y'all.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you all some a little bit of ship mechanics you haven't seen yet, and we're gonna do an actual ship battle. So
Cool.
and
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited about it. So
Wow.
yeah, that's it. That's it for tonight. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks so much,
Yeah.
chat.
Oh,
Thanks,
we do have a
everybody, for
cool
hanging
announcement.
out.
We're trying to partner with more artists to put out Better Than Heroes art. So keep an eye on our socials. We're on every social media platform except TikTok, right? Unless Jordan promised to get on TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
But,
I'm on TikTok dressed like Harley Quinn, singing all of your favorite songs at 2.5 speed.
Yes. But yeah, we're starting to try to link up with cool artists to get their interpretations of Better Than Hero stuff. So keep watching for that. And if you know of a rad artist that you want to kick us, like tweet that shit to us or
let
tell
us
us.
know.
Or if you're a rad artist.
Or if you're a
hit
rad
us
artist.
up.
Yeah,
Totally.
if you know yourself
gosh.
that well, yeah, kick yourself
Reach-
to us.
reach
You're like,
out
I'm
to
rad.
us.
Absolutely.
I'm a rad artist.
Big Top is a super cool sponsor, and they're into helping us support other artists. So please hit us up if you know them, and keep an eye on our Instagram because we've got some hilarious and cool things coming this week. I'm so excited. Okay.
It's so exciting.
One of them got posted on the artist
Oh, whoa,
website.
really? Right
Yeah,
now?
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
recently, right before the stream. So
Oh yeah, we can just talk about the first artist that we
drop it so that the folks. I love like giving the folks at the end of the we're hanging out here at the end like a little teaser. So go for it.
Our first artist that we've worked with is an awesome Canadian artist named Josh McKelvey. Not including Jordan.
Hey.
And Jeff, we've collaborated with Jeff Tice, who's dope
Yes,
as well.
sure.
For sure. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
would be our
Collaborated with him
second
as well.
collab.
So yeah, I guess our second artist that we've collaborated with. His name's Josh McKelvey. Check him out. He's got an incredible style that we all love.
It's
so
so
much.
good.
Yeah.
It's
And we
great.
really
It's very
genuinely love
Should I put it up to the screen, or does that
No,
ruin
no,
it?
don't do it. Yeah.
Right now.
You'll be
Okay.
able to see it.
I'll drop a link in the fan Discord of the first one he posted. He did character art for all 4 people in his own interpretation, and they look drastically different in the best way. And I'm like, yep,
Yes.
that's it. Still, that is the flavor
best.
of them. So,
Aaron, can you spell Josh McKelvey for us?
I've got it right here if you'd like.
Let me try not to.
That's-
Go ahead, Jordan.
It's
let me put you on the spot right now.
It's
Yep.
JOSHMCKELVEY.
That's V like Victor.
That's it.
Yeah.
V like
Yeah.
Victor.
do it. It's cool. It's good.
Very good stuff.
This was
all
such
right.
a fun session.
One of my
considering-
So
favorites.
fun, guys.
and all we did was hug mostly.
It was mostly hugging. That's their stream.
I just want to like post game. I just want to talk all about like it's so good. That was such a good session. So
All right.
We don't normally do plugs, but I do want to do a quick plug. If any of you guys are Magic players, I host a Magic the Gathering podcast called The Commander Sphere, and we are coming off of our hiatus, and it's going to be great. We have a couple of great episodes planned and in the shoot for you, so please give us a follow. We'd appreciate it very much.
Sweet.
yeah, go do it. Get more stuff there.
Thanks.
All right.
Harlan and I have a DM show every Thursday at 5:30 Mountain Time right here. If you want to, we chat real briefly with people who run tabletop games. If you want to check that out.
Yeah, it's very good. We had a couple really good guests. We got a couple more coming up, so it's exciting. So
fun.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
We love
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thanks again to Big Top, our
Yeah.
wonderful sponsor. They're the
And
best.
to all of you guys.
Yeah, that's-
truly, thank you so much. Remember, the best
love
way you
you.
can support us is by telling your friends about the show. So tell them about it, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, y'all.
Just tell them about the toilet. They're going to be on board. Just talk about the toilet.
Okay, cool.
Stargazer, Moonboy, Klik, the Crusher, K.A.I, Humbly Chef, and the Windrider, Flute, Whimteaser. They're better than heroes. They'll never be zeros. road.